How many times have we heard, well, back in the day, I was just running and gunning. I can't do that anymore. Listen, where you are right now, you're okay where you are right now. We're asking you to say, listen, I'm going to start being selfish. I'm going to say, I'm pausing. None of it matters.
Welcome to the Spartan DEKA Series on Spartan Up with Jarod Cogswell, Director of Sport, and Yancy Culp, Director of Programming.
What's up, Spartans? Welcome to the DEKA Series on the Spartan Up Podcast. I'm your co-host, Jarod Cogswell, along with my brother, Yancy Culp. And today we've got a little discussion just between the two of us, and we're going to keep this one short and sweet and to the point. I don't know if you guys believe that or not, but this one is called Be Selfish.
At Spartan, we build better humans, and this time we're tackling families. Do you want to raise resilient kids? Of course you do. Joe DeSena's newest book, 10 Rules for Resilience, Mental Toughness for Families, is a guidebook. You become more resilient so that you can raise more resilient kids. The book is built from life but backed by clinical experience. Joe and his co-author, Dr. Laura Pence, provide a framework that will prepare you and your family for anything. Become the best version of yourself and develop the skills you need to parent with resilience as your compass. It's not just reading. The book includes family activities to help you put these ideas into real-life action. This is a no BS guide. It will leave you feeling more confident, more capable, more courageous about one of the most important jobs there is, being a parent. Pre-order the book now at Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, or use bookshop.org and support your local bookstore. Order 10 Rules for Resilience, Mental Toughness for Families. It might change your family's life.
And brother, I kind of want to just start with you on this because we got to talking about this topic the other day. But first off, I just wanted to tell you on the last episode, you know, I had the Mind Right Maniac on the show, TD, yeah, and it was just a bummer that you weren't there. And so, but I will tell you this: I felt your energy. You know, I was like, I got to make up the ycjc all in one episode, especially when you've got TD on. And we had a good time on that, but I just wanted to make sure you knew that you were missed and noticed. And hey, TD felt it too. So glad to have you back. Man.
I missed you guys. Been watching some Olympics. It got me all fired up. But yeah, missing not being on that episode with you and TD had me a little bummed out. I just got done with interviewing you about your book, and then I have to miss the next episode. But it turned out well, my friend.
Well, I know you were out there doing good things for the world, and as we always talk about, you got to light up the planet. And part of lighting up the planet kind of deals with this topic that we were talking about the other day. So, you know, we're talking about being selfish with your time. We thought if we threw it out like as just be selfish, everybody'd be like, okay, what the heck they talking about? Exactly, but we're talking about being selfish with your time. What sparked, you know, just you thinking about this topic for today, brother?
Well, as you know, you and I fit pros for a long time, and many people in our world of successful fit pros, we're always trying to think about, you know, what keeps people from diving into their fitness journey. We hear time all the time. Time's an issue. I don't have the time. Well, I got myself in a situation several years ago where I was so busy that I felt like I didn't have time for the first time in my life. And I found myself putting together those 20, 30-minute workouts. Might be 4 days in a row where I only got 20, 30, 40 minutes. And I felt the crazy value in those. I was like, listen, I don't care how busy I am. I'm going to pause my world and I'm going to be selfish. It's all about Yancy right now. I'm going to go out and get my 30 minutes in, and magic happens. We know that awesome legal drug that the exercise physiologist could tell us exactly what's going on there. I can't speak about exactly what's going on, but I just know that I feel like $1 million freaking dollars. 15 minutes into that workout, the ideas just start to flow. I'll be messaging people after the workout. I'm all fired up. I've got businesses that I've started only because I decided to go do a workout and I had this perfect clarity. And guess what? Because we were selfish, and you nailed it. We're calling it selfish because everybody's like, I need to listen to that. That's always been a bad word in my vocabulary. but it's not. When you're selfish and you take that time, guess what? When it's over, the rest of your day, everybody that you get to associate with the rest of the day, they benefit because you're a little better version of yourself. You start stacking 100, 200 of those days of being selfish on top of that. And now you wake up and you're a better version of yourself. Your family's benefiting. Your neighbors are benefiting. Your community, your state, your country. The entire planet is benefiting, brother. Everybody you're around because you took that time to say, no. I don't care how busy I am. I'm going to hit the pause button. I'm going. Right now, this is Yancy time.
Yancy time. I like Yancy time. So 20 to 30 minutes, the foundation. Yeah, and you take 20 to 30 minutes and you could have this kind of energy, folks. The YC energy. That might scare a few people. I was thinking about it as you were talking. This is a joke, but it's almost true. Remember when we were in Denver last year, Denver, Colorado, we were getting ready for the first ever DEKA Fit before the pandemic shut us down. Yeah. We were working our butts off, shaking hands with the whole fitness community. And you know what I was starting to think about? I said, I'm working for DEKA Fit, but I'm getting DEKA Fat. And you know what it was?
Yeah,
I wasn't taking care of myself. I was letting everything else everything else was a priority except for me. I wasn't doing what was right for me. And I tell you what, man, it was messing with me mentally. It was messing with me emotionally. I mean, I was losing some days instead of winning the days. And, we talked a little bit about this in the Work Like an Athlete episode. I'm a big believer that you need to train like an athlete. And training like an athlete, means, we're all athletes in this game called life. We've said that over and over. But you need to take care of yourself so that you can effectively take care of others. Because that's why I'm here. That's why I know you're here. We are very purposeful. Every time we wake up in the morning, it's like, how can we be the best version of ourselves and take care of others? That's what it's all about. So, if we remember that we're an athlete, we're trying to win our days, in order to do that, we need to fuel ourselves first so that we can give as much positive energy to the world as possible. Light up the planet, right?
We see, man, you hit a chord in me when you were speaking. When you started that, it hit a chord with me. And the fact that we see so many people that love the service industry, coaches, teachers, people that are great leaders of others, and they just dive into service, and they don't take care of themselves. I've worked with Cedar Park High School right here, and these guys, man, they serve their athletes so well. So many of them are overweight and unfit, and it crushes me because I see them pour into others. But ultimately, we've got to take care of ourselves first, because what will happen is the day will come way, way too quick. And this is where we want to pull you to the edge of your seat, listeners and viewers, because it'll come way too quick. You'll wake up 10 years from now, you're in your 30s or 40s. You'll wake up and you're like, I physically can't do it anymore. I'm saying no to vacations with my kids, and 10, 20 years later, my grandkids, I'm saying no to that. I'm not able to do my job like I used to. I don't have that, I don't wake up with that same energy, and it's been forever since I was on any type of consistent fitness journey, and your body starts to fail physically. Let's throw the filter away and really talk about the facts here. The body starts to say, no, I can't do it. And like, how many times have we heard, well, back in the day, I was just running and gunning. I can't do that anymore. Listen, where you are right now, you're okay where you are right now. We're asking you to say, listen, I'm going to start being selfish. I'm going to say, I'm pausing. None of it matters. I was talking to you earlier before this call. I was like, man, I just went on like a 4-day, I guess you'd call it a sabbatical. I went in the woods of Maine and worked with a bunch of men that are great entrepreneurs. And they brought their kids, and it was all about serving them and talking and really getting them more ingrained in the world of taking care of the beautiful machine. And I fed my soul. So that was that wasn't the 30-minute workout. That was 4 days of being selfish with my time. And I had to put a lot of things in the back burner, but I came back, and I feel like I'm twice myself right now. I've just got so much energy because I fed the mind and the body. And when we do that, man, we're always going to be a better version of ourselves. That drug just gets released, and we get all kinds of fired up.
When we're talking again this morning, I just come off, a hike with our good partners from My Zone. They were in town, and yep, there they are, man. And we had a great time. And I had a meeting scheduled. I knew there was going to be a conflict between being up on that mountain this morning and that meeting time. And I just said, no, I cannot let that meeting get in the way of taking care of myself. So, and we've heard this before. And again, I don't think being selfish in this manner in the way that we're speaking of is a negative. Okay.
Nope.
But we have to learn to say no more often. And, I was even talking to Adina, my wife, this morning, and she said, she said, what are you guys going to talk about today? And I said, well, we're going to talk about being selfish with your time. And, and we were throwing out different mantras. And she comes back when I said, we need to say more, or no more often. And she said, I'm quoting her, she said, sometimes saying no to something is your best yes. Oh. And you know what? When I got off that hill today, I was so glad I said no to that meeting, instead said yes to getting up at 4 a.m., hiking in the dark, and getting up to that summit right when the sun was coming up, man. And I'll tell you what, I got, and this is no joke, I got on that meeting 30 minutes later. I said, hey, I'm not going to make the meeting at that time, but if you can work it out 30 minutes later, I'll get on the line. And I was just a much better version of myself. I was calm. I was proud. I felt accomplished. I was winning the day right when the day started.
Yeah. I've used it in my life. I've had some times, we've all had those dark moments when the stress is building up. We had something really dramatic in a dark way happen in our life, put us in a bad place. And I've always leaned in on fitness in those times. And it has been my saving grace in so many circumstances. And, I thought about our boss, Joe DeSena, and the cool thing about, I've worked for people that are not fit and they don't practice what we're talking about right here. And our boss he would be right here with us right now and say, there is no meeting, nothing we are doing that's more important than taking that time. Because he takes his time every single day, probably better than we do to take care of himself. He's going on 52, 53 years old, and he can move and shake better than 99.9% of people walking the planet, because when you start stacking those days on top of each other, man, you wake up in your 50s and your 60s, and you're still doing it better. You're doing as good as you were when you were younger, and we don't get a lot of time here on this beautiful rock, man. And I personally don't want to be in my 50s and 60s and saying, and I don't want to be slowing down. I know you feel the exact same way. When I see your My Zone post, and it's like, I see you accomplish, you're on the same meetings I'm on. We got 19 freaking calls, but I look and it's like, yep, there's his 2-hour freaking hike. Hell, he made it to a 14er today on a Tuesday, and it fires me up. There's times when I'll see yours, like, I got to go out and get mine in. And that's how we feed off each other, man. I love it.
Well, and we know this, okay? We like to call it training versus exercise, but let's just call it what it is. I mean, exercise and training is medicine, okay? And if we forego it, guys like us, I mean, it's just a part of our daily life. It's going to negatively impact who we are. It's going to negatively impact our body. It's going to negatively impact my mind. Like today, like I've got my 300 plus MEPs in from My Zone, right? I've gotten that 3-hour exercise, and I'm not saying you have to do 3 hours. I like your 20 to 30 minutes, although your 20 to 30 minutes is not human.
I try to freaking turn myself inside out. You know it.
Yeah, I've been involved in some of those workouts, but it's good for your mind. It's good for your confidence, and ultimately, what it's going to be is great for your performance. Your performance in your daily life. Okay. And we're trying to maximize our potential every single day, but you can't do it without taking care of the mind, the body, the spirit. And there's one other quote I wanted to share. One of our first ever guests was Alicia Strieger, who is a very accomplished fitness business coach in our industry. I'm going to quote her here. She said, "Don't be a discounted version of yourself." Okay? That means be your best and live up to your true value. And you cannot do that without physical activity, fitness, nutrition, all of the things that are packaged up together. You've got to commit to those things, and you have to say no, and you have to be selfish with your time to get there.
I just thought of an amazing follow-up to this podcast, brother. I want to get that professional, that PhD in the exercise physiology world, and I want him or her to take us down through exactly what's happening in this brain of ours when we invest that time, when we do be a little selfish with our time, and why everybody around in our world benefits from us doing that, because we know we've seen it with ourselves and all of our clients. Their world just starts to improve. Everything around them it levels up one notch when they get committed. I want to talk to the exercise physiologist and hear exactly what's going on, man.
Well, and I guess when I hear that too, it's like you have to list out things that make you feel good, right? Because we know the benefits of feeling good. You know, how you mentioned it earlier. It's how you treat people, how you communicate with people. It's just about feeling better. So list out those things that make you feel good. But then I think the other piece that gets missed, again, we're training in this game called life, just like an athlete. And we need to map it out. We need to have a roadmap every single week that keeps us accountable to it with no excuses. We're going to live an excuse-free life, and that means we write it down, like what we talk about with events, right? If I have something I'm shooting for, then I'm more likely to obtain that goal. It's the same way on a daily basis. We've got to write down and schedule our workouts. And it could be a 20-minute workout here. It could be a 2-hour workout there, but you got to put it on the calendar. It's just a must. That way you don't have the excuses that get in your way.
Here's a promise to every listener of you out there. The ycjc promise with the lightning bolt in between. If you will commit to that time, 20, 30 minutes is maybe it's a brisk walk around the neighborhood and you just walk it fast. Make sure you go get it. I will personally guarantee you that will start to level up every single person in your life, your significant other that you live with, your kiddos, your neighbors, your friends, everybody in your coworkers, everybody in your life is going to benefit from you and the fact that you're going to have more mental clarity. Health and wellness is going to improve. So much of your life is going to level up. So that's our promise. We got like 50 plus years of experience working with the clients. When you've seen it happen thousands of times, we can kind of give you that promise. We can give you that guaranteed stamp. Trust us on this. Give us a couple months. Let us know. Let us know in the comments of the podcast. Did it work for you? I guarantee it's going to work.
Yeah, and for those, we talk about time. For those that say, I don't have the time to exercise and train. And what did I say to you today, man? I said, you don't have time not to do it. Okay, I don't even know it. Like, I went to Chico State, so I don't know if that sentence actually makes sense. But you don't have time not to exercise. Okay, because we know what the benefits are. If you want to maximize who you are, if you want to be able to live up to the challenges that face you every single day, you got to armor up, get into the gym, go for a run, do whatever lights up your soul to make you the best version of yourself.
At Spartan, we build better humans, and this time we're tackling families. Do you want to raise resilient kids? Of course you do. Jarrod's newest book, 10 Rules for Resilience, Mental Toughness for Families, is a guidebook. You become more resilient so that you can raise more resilient kids. The book is built from life but backed by clinical experience. Joe and his co-author, Dr. Laura Pence, provide a framework that will prepare you and your family for anything. Become the best version of yourself and develop the skills you need to parent with resilience as your compass. It's not just reading. The book includes family activities to help you put these ideas into real-life action. This is a no BS guide. It will leave you feeling more confident, more capable, more courageous about one of the most important jobs there is, being a parent. Pre-order the book now at Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, Or use bookshop.org and support your local bookstore. Order 10 Rules for Resilience, Mental Toughness for Families. It might change your family's life. Thanks for listening to this episode of the DEKA Series on Spartan Up Podcast. Spartan Up is your partner in resilience for mind, body, and spirit. We're here 3 days every week. Tuesdays, you can find Joe DeSena, founder and CEO of Spartan, interviewing biohackers, business leaders, authors, and athletes. Thursdays and Saturdays, catch episodes from our DEKA, Endurance, Trail, Combat, and La Ruta series. Do you know someone who needs a little nudge? Maybe they could use some motivation, tactics to be stronger, healthier, happier, more successful. Tell them about our show. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment. We want to know who's watching and who's listening. Thanks. See you next time.